Bwahahaha. My name is Amy too, and welcome back to Talk to Transformer. This time I got a better microphone, so it won't all the time whenever I talk. But anyway, let's see. Amy 2 was in the garage when suddenly, I like making all these small fragments of sentences because they work better. Amy 2 was in the garage when all of a sudden, all of a sudden, a truck flipped. I quickly checked my personal cell phone. Yeah, like you would have a cell phone that your whole family uses or whatever. Somebody might do that. And found the details of what happened. I saw the apartment in question as I was leaving home and parked the car in front of a small apartment building. I walked up and noticed two angels being kissed by God. What? What is this? I went inside and tried to reason with them, but the angels kept shouting. I went outside and saw that a small fire was burning. I ran over and brought the entire apartment house down on top of them. What is this? The fire continued to burn with the angels. What? Okay, yeah. I was not expecting this. I mean, I know this thing's weird, but wow. This thing can get pretty intense. Okay, let's see. Moon found an odd piece of machinery. Moon found an odd piece of machinery that is apparently composed of a pair of spheres wrapped in dark wrap. Dark wrap, huh? The sphere is clearly visible on the pedestal above the statue, holding two discs inscribed with the word X. That's not a word. And it also holds the object of his reverence. He seems to hold the X up above his head, though no one seems to be calling him out for it. What? The metal rod and the sphere are seen again in a later scene. What are we talking about again? With a little more detail on the rod and the side of the sphere, in which a star... ... Yeah, okay. You like being weird, eh? Sletter... Hey, you want to be weird, eh? I'll show you weird. Sletter licked his deodorant. That's weird. Beyond weird. Sutter licked his deodorant, iced on his shirt, in the diner's quaint old photo booth. In the foreground, 5 poker-playing customers huddled around a table talking like friends, while Nix licked his long unsmoked deodorant. What? By the by the time the diner closed at 9 p.m., fewer than 10 people were left. The diner had given up on serving an entire table of dough-eyed chicken-shaped dishes, as most of its former regulars had simply moved on. But when we sat down with Anthony Gallant, the owner of a ruffling ... I'm glad I put that weird thing in. Okay, big boy and buddy, we're browsing the internet in their spaceship. Big Boy and Buddy were browsing the internet in their spaceship, in her room, and some came in from time to talk to her. Somewhat. Unfortunately, they found out that she was studying for her master's degree at the university. Unfortunately. And she took that as an excuse to text some of the boys, hoping they would stop going over the edge. Uh-huh. After 2 days, they started telling her what was going on. And she had to go back to her room and come back to her dorm. At this time, the next morning, she heard a guy coming from the hallway, and she ... I don't know what to say about that one. Okay. Amy 2 licked another licked one. The frosting off her cake. Hey, it's Luna and Blake again. Wait, were they in a Talk to Transformer episode? Yeah, I think so. Amy too licked the frosting off her cake. If the 3 of them had been invited to be in an elaborate state birthday party, this would have been an unbelievable and amazing party. On top of that, Luna had done a great job, just as Luna had prepared for their entire wedding. They could have easily treated herself to what? To a couple of tasty meals to start the reception. Luna looked over at Blake. Luna asked, "Blake, when are we leaving? Is that right?" Blake replied, "Yeah, it's coming up in the next." In the next. I know it's probably supposed to say something after that, but the thing, it just ends there. The next. In the next. Yeah, it's coming up in the next. Luna and Blake. I'm pretty sure that they showed up in a previous thing. I'm almost 100% positive. Okay. Moon ate some cloth. Moon ate some cloth, and she hurt some birds and made some cows. That's the best phrase I've seen in a long time. Well, right arm came out, couldn't catch it. That's a good one. And she received some wine, and she caused some goats to dwell, and she made war against the human race. So he did things like this and did what was right and made so many good works as to make many heroes. As the earth was endowed with virtue, so too was it destined that after the deluge, the terrible water would not come, and as it should take so long, the angels came and laid the death on the earth. What? The angels came and laid the death on the earth. And then also the souls were begotten in it turned into some kind of god thing. I like the part where it says Moon ate some cloth and she hurt some birds and made some cows. Oh, that was so good. Sletter was playing a game on his computer when suddenly... What? Sletter was playing a game on his computer when suddenly a player died and the screen caught fire. What? What happened next was beyond comprehension. That already is beyond comprehension. The energy bubble dissipated. What? Where'd the energy bubble come from? The player just hung on until it filled in. What? Every living person at the event thought about how they would react if they were in that situation. And no one came close to running the risk of contracting the disease. And no one tried to kill anyone who seemed near. The pneumatic vault system used for the vault fires, as well as the airtight walls and occupants were not ... That one's pretty good. Big Boy and Buddy were hanging out in the power room of their spaceship. Big Boy and Buddy were hanging out in the power room of their spaceship, and soon after they met Chewbacca. They shared a hug, which gave her a great feeling. Chewbacca offered her a drink, and at that moment, Han ran out of the ship. Luckily for Han, they were surrounded by stormtroopers. Once they were inside the power room, Chewbacca tells Han he's going home, telling him he has a stormtrooper for a friend. Han happily accepts and says that he doesn't want anyone to steal his job. Oh man, that was pretty weird. Star Wars meets Talk to Transformer. Because they didn't meet Big Boy and Buddy, because for some reason, they like to just disappear. Amy 2 was chewing on a piece of cardboard. Amy 2 was chewing on a piece of cardboard while Dr. Gloria's hand remained on the fourth bottle. I thought it said in when I glanced over it for a bit. When Dr. Gloria opened the fourth bottle for a bite, Tom was engulfed in flames. Tom started putting... Okay. Why did I say putted? Started putting the pieces of cardboard and fire extinguisher where he thought Dr. Gloria had been. When he did, she stood up and then looked into his eyes. She opened her eyes wide, however, and screamed, the screaming in terror as she tried to pull off her helmet. All at once, the fire turned bright blue and a new color came into view. You mean blue? Oh, man. Why was there a fire? Well, I guess fire is very flammable. Moon turned into an apple. What is this? Okay, I'll do this one again, but first I want to read this part. This part is epic. Moon turned into an apple into an ice cube, and then an ice cube into a bottle of gasoline. Bud Grant said finally the character was assigned the name Snowball. Do that one again. Moon turned into an apple, beginning to turn into an apple, and then no, that didn't work because unlike many things in life, this seemed impossible. And now, nothing had happened, and now this was happening. Down to the bottom of the left-hand dumpster, it was all there. All around, faded black suitcases and scattered dollar bills. Faded gray and green waistcoats and ripped black jeans. Pieces of worn pea coats. Worn zebra print pea. ... Well, I'm not going to save that one. That's not good enough. Slitter and Moon were working on an experiment. Slater and Moon were working on an experiment that would change the way the world remembers the Beast's death. They were trying to trace the Beast's exact location at some point in history. It didn't seem like Beast had hidden himself in any of the world's ruins, so they decided to ask the vampire, Stacy, to travel back in time to see if they could detect a stain on the ground. Oh man, that's great. Sunstone arrived in 17th century London and stumbled upon the Rock of Eternity. A grand monument for its time. The stone was a time skip that ... One of these Talk to Transformer episodes, I'm going to try to continue some of these. Big boy and Buddy found out how to time travel. What is this? What is... Big Boy and Buddy found out how to time travel when they discovered the young Bud and Derry were mutants and bred them to run around on top of large towers. Since those towers are very high and have no walls, how do they even exist then? They are very dangerous places to be. They are not quite as scary as Daria. That's the name of one of the characters, who uses a sonic cannon to shut them up. If any of them accidentally get close enough, they'll roar and attack. There are only a few times they will be active at once. They are currently only able to use their powers at night. It is unknown if they ... What? Amy 2 was sent back in time by... No, I know it's by Big Boy and Buddy, but if I say that, it'll screw it up. Amy 2 was sent back in time to cause most of the disasters, with her mere presence just enough to cause the ocean to mix with the land. Using this method was the only way to undo the effects of all the heavy damage caused by the flood. It took Mayo several years to recover. In the meantime, not having been exposed to Neopets, much to her frustration, in Paper Mario, Sticker Star, it is revealed that although Mio is now nearly as old as she once was, she still goes on adventures whenever she can. However, their ... Moon was driving in a blizzard. He could barely see anything. Moon was driving in a blizzard. He could barely see anything. He made it to the other side of the pile of meat and milk. What? And put the switch to the stove. The snow settled as he cooked the food, which turned out to be braised pork, s'mores, and frozen berries. He switched off the stove. He lifted up the corner of his compartment and stared at the snowman. It was less than a foot tall, with ice-white eyes and a pink color. The snowman was wearing a t-shirt but without pants. What? Anyway, I'm going to have to end this video here. If you liked it, subscribe. And watch some of my other videos. If you didn't see the previous ones, go look at them. else. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.